All right, I just wanted to do a quick video for the new skill check, especially for second period who wasn't in class on Friday because of the class meeting, just to re-review exactly what we're looking for on the new skill check. So before I actually dive into that, if my announcement didn't make sense to you on Friday and about those who did the Chapter 17 skill check over break, I am, after more thinking, I am going to let those who did the Chapter 17 skill check turn it in instead of the new skill check, just because I did have on the daily agenda on the exam day that it was due on January 8th, and I never had any additional communication about that otherwise. But I do want you to understand that if you plan on turning in the Chapter 17 skill check instead of the new skill check, that you are missing a little bit of information. So you'll be missing the, there's a section about farmers in 6.2 that's super important in the development of like farmers movements that isn't in the reading for Chapter 17. And then all of 6.4. So I highly recommend that you go in and read that section on the farmers movements as well as 6.4, the New South, because you will be missing the reading on that information. But anyways, moving forward after the mishap with Chapter 17, everybody will be doing the new skill check. So just as more of an explanation, for starters, and I'm going to be kind of flipping back and forth here between the skill check and the AMSCO reading. So for this first section, it says here that we're going to be, you need to do 2 SFI filled sentences in your own words reflecting on each of the learning objectives. So if we go to the reading, the learning objectives are here. So, at the top, I would suggest that you read the learning objective. So in this case, explain the historical context for the rise of industrial capitalism in the United States during the period of 1865 to 1898. Okay, so I see the question. Now I'm going to answer it using the reading. So the nice thing is that the reading kind of matches up with Objective 1 and Objective 2. So you'll read economic and political changes that will fit pretty directly into Objective 1. Then if you go to Objective 2, migration and urbanization, that's going to fit more into Objective 2. And then that last section, reform movements, can kind of fit into both. So you will read and write 2 sentences of summary for each of those learning objectives. Then for when you move down, this is moving into specific topics. So for here, 6.2, there's still a learning objective. There's no difference here. You'll go to 6.2 in the reading, and you'll read the learning objective. Explain the causes and effects of the settlement of the West from 1877 to 1898. Now, in order to do learning objective here, you're going to need to read the entire section before you can really answer the learning objective, because that's going to be kind of your summary. Causes and effects. Okay, 2 sentences, SFI packed sentences again for each of these sections. Okay, then you're going to go back to the reading. And for the main ideas are in blue. So you can see transcontinental railroads. Right there, right? So you can see that is the main idea number 1. And then you have main idea number 2 is settlement of the last West. Okay, settlement of the last West. You'll come in here and you'll write okay, and then for the third topic, you'll come in and write farmers organize. Now, this is the section that you would need to read because it's not in Chapter 17. And this section, this topic is so important that it was actually, I told this to third period, the DBQ prompt a couple of years ago on the actual AP test. So when I say go back and read that section, I can't stress that enough. Then up there in the instructions, it does say that, using the red headers as well as the bolded terms can help to kind of like figure out like what's the most important parts to fill into those sentences of SFI packed, information. Then the last thing that I told third period, and I said it second period briefly the day before, is that you may need more than 2 sentences to summarize. Feel free to take additional notes on a piece of notebook paper, and then you can just kind of staple those to the skill check. So hopefully this helps in explaining exactly what the expectations are for the new reading and skills check. And I think my biggest piece of advice is to read first and then fill in your sentences. Gone are the days of like skimming and finding random terms. This skill check will really kind of call on you to summarize. I hope this helps. Thanks.